All praise is given to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakar Dash. Double honors to the elder apostles, great most on who rule well, teaching this 100% truth. Shalom and salutations to the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000 and the rest of the men, women, and children. Your brother Magan Shalomar. This morning, Trump declared an emergency in D.C. So this is the beginning of him bringing in the United States military, bringing in the FBI, and all these people, these agencies is going to be on the streets of D.C. They call it the cleaning up, making D.C. Beautiful again. And of course, the ones that's going to be trampled upon and going to be deported is going to be the Northern Tribe. So we're going to get right into it. This video is crazy, man.
He's going to do to fight back. No more crime rampant in our beautiful capital. No more teenage girls beating a disabled man to death. No more of that. No more drive-bys. We're going to do everything we can. And working with the ATF Director Driscoll and Commander of the Army, we're going to all work together. That's what we all do in this room. We work together, we fight. Do not underestimate one person in this room. We're going to make DC beautiful. We're going to make DC safe again. One other thing, just at the wharf a few days ago, the area of the wharf, Terry Cole reached out to me, not even nightfall, on the weekend, where so many families in tourists go. A guy's overdosing from fentanyl on a park bench. In the middle of families around, they administer Narcan and saved his life. No more of that. The President of the United States is going to clean up DC, and we're going to be there to help him, and we're going to be successful. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Cash, talk about Northern Virginia, if you will. Northern Virginia, we had a big success.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Attorney General Bondi, for your leadership, Deputy Attorney General, and the rest of our interagency partners. Mr. President, the following is what happens when you let good cops be cops, and I just want to highlight that before I get into Northern Virginia. This year alone, under President Trump's administration, we've had over 4,000 child victims identified and found. That's a 33% increase from the same time period last year. 33% increase. We've had a seizure of 1,500 kilograms of fentanyl up to this date. That is a 25% increase since the same time period last year. And just to put it in perspective, 1,500 kilograms of fentanyl is enough to kill 115 million Americans. 115 million Americans. Cops are getting after it. The FBI has arrested 19,000 people this year alone. Thanks to President Trump's administrations, that's double than where we were this time last year. And we have also arrested 1,600 people who have committed violent acts against children. 270 of them are human traffickers of children. Mr. President, this is what happens when you have great leadership at the Attorney General with Pam Bondi. Your administration's priority of protecting the homeland and protecting American citizens and protecting our children, and the murder rates are plummeting. We are now able to report that the murder rate is on track to be the lowest in U.S. history, in modern recorded U.S. history, thanks to this team behind me and President Trump's priorities. And how did we do it? And what are we going to bring to D.C.? What we did in Northern Virginia, thanks to Terry Cole and Governor Youngkin and the team, we stood up a task force out in my Northern Virginia field office, and we said, let's let good cops be cops, let's get them the intelligence and what they need, and let's get the red tape out of their way, and let's get DOJ partnered up with us to bring great prosecutions, and that's exactly what we did. In 1 month, we arrested 545 violent felons. 545 in the state of Virginia, thanks to Governor Youngkin's partnership. And that simplicity in law enforcement is what's coming to Washington, D.C. When you let good cops be cops, when you give them the intel they need, when you work with our Homeland Security Task Force, when you work with Terry and Gaddy, and I go way back to Miami. These guys are great leaders of the respective departments and law enforcement capacities. And when you have the DOJ and President Trump driving behind this mission, we are going to clean up Washington, D.C., and we're going to do it the right way, the lawful way, and we're going to make sure Washington, D.C. is safe again.
This is a bootlicking at an extreme. DC, America is never going to be great again. so-called white man Esau Edom is falling out of rulership on this earth, and it's not going to be beautiful. America is not going to be great. America is circling the tube. America is going down. The Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is bringing America into World War III. We're waiting on that micro C hit, which we know is to be the MOTB. Get a quick precept. This is Psalm 47, one of my favorites. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." Because America is known as the daughter of Babylon. It's also known as, we know it is the city of Babylon the Great. It's also known as Assyria. It's also known as ancient Roman Empire. It's also known as ancient Egypt. It goes by many names. But it's sitting down and said, "Come and sit down in the dust." One, because it's coming from falling from its being on high, from being on top. Because this is Esau's Edom kingdom in their heaven. But they are falling. And when they fall into the bottom, to the dust. And the dust also represents confusion. And that's all you see in that video with Trump and his gurus, is that they're trying to scramble and trying to come up with all kinds of ways to reach in that bag to make America great again. It's not going to happen. There is no throne. You know, there is no throne of Chaldeans. Verse 2 says, "Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover thy thigh, and pass over the rivers." And, you know, great millstone is known to be that millstone that's bringing out this truth and unlocking the minds of the elect, and showing you who the enemy of the Most High Yahweh is a so-called white man, Esau Edom, and America is being that whore that sits on the back of the beast, right? So America is the one that has that that cup of abomination in her hands, and the whole world is starting to see America as truly what they are. They're a failing nation, you know. They're against the Most High Yahweh, against Yahweh Shai, it's against the angels, against the prophets, you know, and against the children of Israel, and is also most definitely against the elect. "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, the shame shall be seen, and I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." So the Lord is preparing America for that great downfall, because we know that all of this has to take place with insurrections of men is about to start. The Jacob's trouble we're heading into, and this is what you're saying, the build up, the beginning, because Trump is going to increase those military men and people that he's have on these streets, the FBI, the DEA, the National Guards. This is going to be an everyday scene in the major cities of America, right? And the Lord is preparing this for that great day when they bring in that, issuing that the mark of the beast.
Signed some executive orders. I'd like to have Will please come up, and we'll let the people know what we signed. Do you want to put them down?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
A short while ago in the Oval Office, President Trump signed two crucial executive actions to deal with the emergency crime conditions we currently face in the District of Columbia. The first of these was an executive order, as President Trump said before, invoking his powers under Section 40 of the Home Rule Act to take federal control of the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department. Along with that executive order, President Trump signed the statutorily required notification letters to Mayor Bowser and to the relevant House and Senate committee leaders. The second major executive action that President Trump signed was a presidential memorandum directing the Secretary of Defense to utilize the National Guard to address the conditions we see on our streets here in D.C. It also authorized the Secretary of Defense to work with state governors to utilize their National Guard units if necessary as well. These are bold, decisive steps intended to combat the out-of-control crime conditions we've seen on DC's streets for far too long. And I, for one, am deeply proud to be part of an administration that's finally coming to terms with these issues, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir.
Thank you. So, just to conclude, Washington, D.C. should be one of the safest, cleanest, most beautiful places anywhere in the world. It was years ago. We had one problem that was a pretty big problem. The radical left got out of control and they started trying to rip down statues, and I said, let's go pass a law real fast. We're going to do it real fast, but we were blocked by the Democrats who do not want safety. Nobody gets it. I don't get it. They don't get it because they can't get votes. I don't know how they can win an election with this, but they don't want safety. And I found an old statute, very old, early 1900s, that said if you so much as touch or even think about destroying a statue or a monument in Washington, D.C., you go to jail for 10 years with no probation, no anything. In other words, slightly different than we have today. Today we have cashless bail. There you get jailed 10 years. No curtailed sentence, 10 years. And we took it out. Nobody used it. It was never used because, it was harsh. And you remember they started to rip down the statue of Abraham Lincoln. I said, that's a tough one to rip down. He was pretty good, Pam. I think he was pretty good. When the ropes started going around Abraham Lincoln to pull him down, Andrew Jackson, others, and they were heading to the Jefferson Memorial, Thomas Jefferson. They're going to do a big number there. I said, it's time. And I signed that statute immediately. We had it updated. We made it use the same language, all passed by Congress. And I announced it's 10 years in jail, no probation, no anything, 10 years, no curtail sentence if you touch, so much as touch a statue in Washington, D.C. And it was an amazing sight, beautiful sight. Everybody just left. The ropes were hanging around Andrew Jackson. And there were two ropes around Abraham Lincoln. They left the rope. But everybody just left, and that was the last problem we ever had. That was the last problem that we ever had with the statues. They were going wild.
Well, those statues don't mean shit to us. Those your forefathers, the Edomites. We don't give a damn about no George Washington. We don't give a damn about no Abraham Lincoln. We don't give a damn about no Donald Trump and his gurus he had. The Lord already, a prophesied already put out his word that America is going down, and it's going to go down through fire, and it's going to take the major destruction is going to be here in America, because America is going to be totally destroyed. This is the book of Hosea, chapter 1, and verse 9 says, Then the Most High called his name La'amaya, for ye are not my people, and I will not be your power. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, Ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, Ye are the sons of the living power. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be together, and appointed themselves one head that shall come out of the land. For the great shall be that day of Jezreel. So, we're in that place of America. The majority of the northern tribe and southern tribe, Israel, is here in the Americas. And the Lord said, in this place where we was called not our people, because we was called all kinds of names, niggers, wetbacks, spicks, and all kinds of names, but we was never called the children of the Most High. But since 1969, 1970s, by Baba Bivens, it came with the inspiration of the word from the Lord Yahweh to wake up the children of Israel. Here we're called the children of Israel. We are the Lord's people, man. And this is the place where it's going to be more of the heaviest deliverance of the children of Israel, right? So this place is going to be destroyed, no matter how Donald Trump and his gurus try to lie to the people and pretend that they're going to make America great again. It's not, because the Lord says that we're going to point themselves one head. We know that one head is Yahweh Shah. Under him is going to be King David, right? And we're going to rule again once we get their new bodies. When Yahweh Shah crack that sky, man. When he crack that sky with his hundreds of thousands of angels in them chariots. Once they destroy this place, and we're going to rule again under Yahweh Shah in Jerusalem, in Israel. So with that, hope you was edified. Shalom.